Hi everyone, you're welcome to my Professor Note. This is Bhupesh Sharma. So here in this video, we will be discussing about the Murder in the Cathedral, very important modern play written by the TS Eliot. This video will be divided into the two sections. One is the objective section, another one is the subjective section. In objective section, we will be discussing your factual details of the play, and in the subjective section, we will be discussing your thematic and contextual details of this play. So this play was written by the T.S. Eliot. He is an Anglo-American writer. Anglo is a prefix which is attached to the name of the country, to the person who have moved from their original country to the England. So he was born and brought up in America, but later on he moved to the England. So this play was performed in 1935. It is a historical fiction play, verse drama written in the form of verse, based on the life of the Thomas Becket, the Archbishop of the Canterbury Cathedral. So this play was written in response to the rising fascism in the 1930s Europe. So fascism is something when you put the state above the individualism, right? Above the individual person, like a nationalism. Because after the World War I in 1919, people were yearning for the national unity and the leadership. And Mussolini in the Italy in 1919, the first one to form the fascist party. He is the one who coined the term fascism. All right. So the play, it has a very beautiful scene which is known as the scene of the temptation. The four tempters come. Actually, here the whole thing is happening inside the mind of the Thomas Becket. Eliot is trying to depict a stage the internal conflict which is going on in the mind of the Thomas Becket. Thomas Becket, who is returning to the England after the 7 years of exile. So play starts on the 2nd December in 1170. He was in exile for 7 years because of his rivalry with his friend Henry King. So here starts your first part. The play is divided into the two parts, and in between there we have a sermon on the day of Christmas, which is given by the Thomas Becket, right? So the first part begins where we see the women are crying outside the cathedral. They are giving this chorus on the upcoming events, because now the Thomas Becket is returning to the England, and he can be killed by the King Henry, because still both of them have not come together or aligned together. There is still that enmity between both of them. So when he goes to the church, there is the temptation which comes to him. This is inside his mind, and he is thinking the four tempters are not actually coming, but they are staged in the play. So the first temptation which comes to his mind, he is just thinking, but they are staged in the play, is that why do not I go back to my friend? We had a great time, we had a great fun, those were the days of pleasure. I should go back to him. This is the temptation coming to his mind, and this is the first tempter there who comes with the pleasure, who offers him the pleasure, but he denied that. He said that those were the days of you that I cannot get back, and now I'm a mature person, and this is my way of living now. The second tempter comes and he offers him the power. He tried to tempt him with power, that why do not you resume your chancellorship and become friend with King Henry. But he found this against his mode of rule, against the rule of God now, because now he is a person of spirituality, and he found this power too small front of the power of spirituality, because earthly powers are not that strong as the power of the spirituality. So the third tempter came, and he tried to tempt him with a treachery. He asked him to extend the power of Pope beyond the Henry and end his rule, and to get the barons and the clergy under his control, and that he denied too, because he does not want to have all this, because he has more than this, right? That is the power of God with him. The fourth tempter is called as the greatest tragedy. which tempt him to be the martyr. So Thomas Becket is sitting and he's thinking that why don't you do all this for the wrong reason. This is exactly what martyrdom theme which is coming to his mind, that whatever you're doing, you're doing it for the sake of martyrdom. So this for the self glorification, people will remember you after you die, there will be love for you, a lot of people die, but still you will be ruling from the tomb. And he recoiled this, he denied this temptation by crying in the despair, and that's how he overcome all these 4 tempters. And now there is a sermon given by him on the day of Christmas. He said that the death of Jesus should be celebrated and mourned as well. He should be mourned because this sinful world put him to the death, and it should be celebrated because his death transcends this world with his sacrifices, right? And he said that the death of the saints and the martyrs should also be mourned and celebrated because they sacrificed and they do whatever they do for the sake of God, right? They submit themselves to the will of God and they find freedom in this. And this is when this whole sermon ends, and after that his execution is being pursued when these 4 knights came and they killed him. And by one, all these knights go in front of the audience and they face them. The first knight does not have a good way of speaking, his speech is not good. So the second tempter go and he said they were just following the order of the king. The third one said that he deserved the death because he committed the treachery, he was not a good person. And the fourth one said that it was not a murder, it was a suicide because he wanted to be the martyr. And then the 3 priests came and they said they will try to live up to the will of this man Thomas Becket. Whatever he said, they will try to follow his words. And that's how this whole play ends, right? So these were some of the objective things which we discussed at the very beginning, and these are some of the subjective things that we discussed, that what this play is actually about. So I hope you like the video. Make sure you subscribe with other people, share with other people, subscribe to the channel. Very soon I'll be back with another video. Till then time, keep pushing your limits. This is Bhupesh Sharma signing off.